to host of today's episode 11. Today's mode is called Russian Roulette, and this is how it works. I spin a wheel of 3 categories, which are host of today's longs, host of today's normals, and the host of today's animations. Whatever one it lands on is the category I go down in. I then spin the wheel of numbers to see the amount I go down in that specific category. I have to spin the wheel automatically if I don't have enough length currently in the videos I have reacted to. For example, the length I have to reach is 15 to 20 minutes, but I have a 12-minute video and I wish to spin again, or the next video is over 8 minutes long. That means I have exceeded the limits and I have lost. But I get 1 respin if I don't want that specific video. There is also a wheel of elimination which contains safe and outs. The number of outs starts at 1, but then increases after each video I watch. An out is an automatic loss, so the video could end quicker than you think. So let's do this. Okay, let's spin. HS longs are basically just longer reaction videos. Normals are like views under 7 minutes, and animes or animations. Easy. Animations, okay. Animations could be long or short. Now, let me spin for the number I go down in the list from 1 to 21, and it is 12. So number 12 is 3 true dark. Oh, the length I need to reach is 20 to 25. So either from 20, 21, 22, 23 or 25. The small seconds also count. So like if it's 9:53, that also counts. And you add it to be like 8:52. So you add all of that and it counts. So we're starting off with a very long one already. I told you, look at it's a 2-minute one here. Now I just need 3 more minutes and I'm good. Okay, this first one is called 3 True Dark Web Horror Stories Animated by IMR Scary Tales. So let's do this.
I should have known better, but love makes you do irrational things. It clouds judgment and makes you blind to consequences. I never believed in all that supernatural crap before, but what happened, what I let happen, changed everything. Lupita's eyes were hollow after the miscarriage. Our baby was gone, and so was her living spirit. It had been months since she last left the bathroom. Her sad, vacant eyes were in a constant quest for hope. Watching her spiral was a torture of its kind. Helplessly devastated, I had tried everything. Therapy, medication, time alone, time together, but nothing could pull her back. I couldn't stand seeing the love of my life wither right in front of me, haunted by the loss of a child we both wanted so desperately. So when Greg mentioned an odd, uncomfortable solution, I hopped on it. You know, Jack, there's this thing, he said hesitantly. They call it a humanized doll. A doll? I deadpanned.
Yeah, this is when...
Not just any doll. It'll be like the child you were supposed to have. The solution was ridiculous, but a solution nonetheless. In seconds, the order was booked. I'll never forget the day the package arrived. It was a plain brown box, no label, no return address.
Nothing can replace a human child.
Sitting on the doorstep like a malignant tumor. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside, wrapped in tissue paper, was a doll so lifelike
as when
it
you
made my breath
chuck
hitch.
it out of this
It had
earth.
Lupita's soft brown eyes, my sharp nose, and the hint of a smile that was almost too real.
His
When
teeth are even
Lupita saw
uneven.
it, the wall cracked. She cradled the doll like it was flesh and blood, cooing to it. For the first time in weeks, I had seen her smile. My heart swelled with relief. Maybe this would help her heal. Little did I know, it was the last moment of peace in our house. The first night I woke to find her in the rocking chair, the doll pressed against her chest. I thought it was a good sign. She was talking to it, humming softly, like any mother would. But as the days wore on, it became clear that this wasn't helping. It was something darker, something unexplainably wrong. Very soon, my wife stopped eating, sleeping, or talking. She spent every waking moment with that doll, feeding it, changing diapers. She named it Baby Blue. I didn't understand why, but I didn't dare ask, too afraid of what she might say. But it wasn't until the night she came at me with a knife that I realized how far gone she was. Stop it, PETA. This ain't real. I snapped,
What
only
the
to
heck?
watch her face twist into a monstrous snarl I'd never seen before. The woman who lunged at me wasn't my Lupita. She was Baby Blue's mommy, consumed, body and soul. As I
Did
stumbled
the doll
backward,
tell her to
my
kill him?
eyes flicked to the doll, and I froze. Baby Blue's glassy eyes seemed to shimmer with a dark intelligence, and its tiny mouth curled into a sinister grin.
What the heck
room
is
felt
going on?
colder. Was she possessed? That afternoon, I decided to stay home and watch. Everything went smoothly until night fell. It must
So
have
what
been around
happened
1 in
just
the
in
morning,
day?
and I had just drifted off to sleep when the fire alarm went off. I jolted
My
awake to find the
goodness.
kitchen filled with smoke. Lupita had left a kettle on the stove and completely forgot about it.
He was crying. He has been telling me I'm a bad mother.
She cried, clutching Baby Blue to her chest.
My goodness.
My blood ran cold. The doll couldn't cry. It was impossible. But she insisted, her voice rising in pitch, growing hysterical. I tried to snap her out of it, yelling that the doll wasn't real, that it was all in her head, but she wouldn't listen. Her face went pale, and she passed out, cradling the doll like it was a real child.
goodness.
I rang the hospital, and help arrived. It might have been 4 in the morning when a strange noise filled the whole house. It was a sound that made my skin crawl, a faint, muffled cry like a baby. My heart pounded in my chest as I listened, holding my breath. It was coming from the nursery. My hands trembled as I pushed open the door, and there, in the dim light, I saw it. The doll was crying. I stared at it, horror-stricken, as the soft wailing sound filled the room. The doll's eyes, Lupita's eyes, glowed red, tiny pinpricks of light in the darkness. A cold sweat broke out on my forehead as I approached it. My heart raced as I picked it up, and the crying stopped abruptly. My hands shook as I examined it, feeling something hard beneath its synthetic skin. I tore it open, the synthetic flesh giving way
that
under
is
my
not
hands, and
good.
found a small black device nestled inside.
Okay.
It was a camera. That means we were being watched this whole time? A sickening realization washed over me as I dug deeper. The people who were spying on us had turned Lupita's life into a twisted form of entertainment. I gathered the evidence, the doll and the camera, and contacted the authorities. We filed charges for invasion of privacy, harassment, and emotional distress. The cybercrime department tried to trace the website, but it led to a block. People who use dark web are masters in hiding and staying in the dark. I was warned strictly for choosing to buy items from the illegal front of the internet. We changed house and phone numbers to stay away from further stalkers. Lupita is still undergoing psychiatric counseling to deal with the loss of our child and the trauma caused by that doll. All I have understood is that grief is the love which has nowhere to go, but we shouldn't let it decide our lives. As long as we're alive, we must keep living. Moving forward is the real meaning of life, no matter how many storms try to knock you down.
True.
I got a text from some girl late last night.
Think
Do
big.
not click on this link.
It said, it was a
Click on it.
shortened YouTube URL. Usually I ignore such messages, but yesterday was a bit rough and I wasn't in the mood to write the novel which I was working on. So I clicked on that link. It redirected me to YouTube where a video about some circus from the 60s in Bombay started playing. Do not forward the video to 2:21 minutes
This is
was written
such
in
an
the title.
obvious-
So, of course I did. I shouldn't have done
my
that.
goodness.
At exactly 2:21 seconds, I paused the video. Everything looked quite ordinary. A black and white footage, 3 elephants in the back, a few dwarves ahead, and a bunch of people around. But right in the center was a large drum, on which was written, Comment 13. Curiously, I scrolled down to the comment number 13 in that video,
Scavenge
which linked to
scavenge.
another YouTube video. I've recently started my YouTube channel where I post funny writing advice. The link from that comment took me to my own video, one which I had uploaded 3 days ago. It was an informative video, a rant on the current status of the publishing industry, but right from the start, something was different. It started with a few glitches in the video, and then some random numbers and letters started popping up in it. And then my voice suddenly grew heavier and heavier, and then midway into it, the screen went black. The numbers and letters that were dancing around, they soon converged into a new message. It was my home address. I instinctively shut my laptop and walked out of the room.
Goodness.
That was a whole new level of creepy fascination someone
all these
could
people
have
just
online.
get all this?
How she got my address, I didn't know. I had no clue as to how she
powers, man.
toyed with my video. It should have been impossible. I walked into the kitchen and filled myself a glass of orange juice. When I was back in my room and opened my laptop, I had another message from the same girl.
Hope I didn't scare you.
It read,
What do you mean?
I wondered if I should reply or not, but I had a bunch of unanswered questions, so I had to ask. I put my
How did
orange
she know
juice
she
to my
clicked-
side and
clicked
started
it?
chatting with her. How did you know my address? How did you tweak my video? There was no reply for a few minutes, and then I got an image. A rather explicit image of a rather gorgeous woman with a rather voluptuous body. Long, dark hair, white tank
Okay,
top
don't
over
start
yoga
simping
pants,
now. Get straight to the
shades.
point.
Screamed the complete Instagram it girl.
What do you think about me?
She texted next, but I couldn't get my eyes off her image, her top in particular.
goodness.
Not staring at the tatas, but there was a symbol in the
My
center of her
goodness.
top which freaked the
This
daylights
guy.
out of me. It's a symbol I made for the purposes of my novel. The novel isn't published yet. Hell, it isn't even complete yet. I haven't even shared the draft with anyone at this point. Then how the hell did she know the exact symbol and even got it printed on her top? I lost it. I barely abuse girls, but this time my messages started and ended with swears. I need answers. Tell me the answers.
Don't be afraid, babe. It's our little secret.
The f it is.
okay.
You hacked my computer? I'll go to the police.
Hack a computer? I barely even know how to work PowerPoint.
How do you know my address? How did you get that symbol?
I guess.
You guessed? Nostradamus
Guessed.
just rolled in his grave. Tell me, who are you and how are you doing this?
I just want to be your friend, babe.
Stop
Stop
calling me
calling me.
that.
Yes,
Just answer
thank
my
you.
questions.
I already told you the answer.
What? Where?
You didn't read the 13th comment on that YouTube video completely, did you?
I was pissed off. I didn't even know if it was a girl or some scamster who was trying to blackmail me. I went through the entire process again and landed at that circus video. Scrolled down furiously to the 13th comment. The last time I was at it, it just had the YouTube link to my tempered video. This time, there was a text. Don't scroll down to the 20th comment. I wondered how she was doing this. I scrolled down immediately to the 20th comment, which read, "Don't click on this link."
Oh my
I clicked on that
goodness.
link and arrived at my own blog from 7 years ago, on which there was a suggested edit now, which said, "Don't go into the edit logs of this blog." I rushed to the
is
edit
going
logs,
on?
just wanting this mystery to end, and it did. In the edit logs, a previous version of that answer existed, which just read this: "Thank you for the delicious orange juice."
It
I
was
looked
right.
to my right.
Oh my.
glass of orange juice was empty, and I
Okay.
had not had a single drop of it.
What the heck is? How the?
Meeting
My
Kelly felt
goodness.
like something out of a dream. A weird,
Already
dark
11
dream,
minutes.
but a dream
That went quick.
nonetheless. I've never been the type of guy who gets the girl. Hell, I've never even been the type of guy who talks to the girl. My comfort zone has always
Times
been
like
behind
that.
a computer screen where I could control the conversation, where my awkwardness didn't show, and where I wasn't
Okay.
constantly reminded of how much of a loser I am. I wasn't looking for anything special when I stumbled into the dark web chat room. It was more out of boredom than anything else. But then I met Kelly. She was different from anyone I'd ever talked to. Confident, funny, and actually interested in what I had to say. She didn't just tolerate my nerdy ramblings, she engaged with them, made me feel like I mattered. For someone like me, who's always been a bit of a loner, that meant the world. Kelly wasn't perfect. She had her issues, just like I did. She told me about her struggle with hair loss, a condition that made her feel invisible and unattractive. She said no guy ever looked at her the way she wanted to be looked at. That hit me hard because I know what it felt like to be overlooked, to feel like you don't matter. We bonded over the shared feeling of not fitting in, and before long I found myself falling for her. After weeks of late-night chats, we decided it was time to meet in person. We picked an abandoned children's park out in the middle of nowhere. It seemed perfect, a quiet, out-of-the-way spot where we could finally see each other without any pressure. I was nervous as hell, but I couldn't wait to see her. The park was even creepier than I'd imagined. The sun had just set, leaving everything in that dim, unsettling twilight where nothing feels quite real. I got there early, sat on a bench near an old, rusted swing set, and waited. The place was dead quiet, and with each passing minute, my nerves started to get the best of me.
How would you stay?
I noticed him, a creepy old man, a little ways off. He was just staring
goodness.
at me. Not a casual glance, but a full-on, unsettling stare. I tried to ignore him, but it wasn't easy. I pulled out my phone and texted Kelly, asking how long she'd be. She replied that she was walking because she couldn't catch a cab. Great, I thought. Just what I needed, to be stuck here alone with this weirdo watching me. I shifted on the bench, trying to act like I wasn't bothered, but I couldn't help it. The old man's stare was drilling into me, and every instinct I had was screaming.
I think it's the old man that sent it as, but he would have seen that. Oh my goodness.
My heart
yeah, that's when you run.
I'm not usually paranoid, but this guy was seriously creeping me out. I got up and started walking away, texting Kelly the whole time, telling her about the old man and that I was moving to another spot. She told me to wait a few minutes, that she'd be there soon, but I couldn't wait. I just needed to get away. I spotted a bus stop at the edge of the park, lit by a flickering streetlight. It wasn't much, but it was something. I made my way there, trying to calm myself down. As I reached the bus stop, I looked back and there he was, standing across the street.
Okay.
That grin sent a shiver down my spine. It was like he knew something I didn't, like he was enjoying my fear. I needed to hear Kelly's voice, to know that she was real and that this wasn't some messed up joke. But I didn't have her number. We'd been so caught up in our chat room world that we never thought to exchange phone numbers. I cursed myself for that, then texted her, saying the internet was spotty and asking for her number. She didn't reply right away, and those few seconds felt like an eternity. Finally, her number popped up in the chat. I didn't waste a second.
Crazy
I called it immediately. The phone rang once, then twice, and then I heard it. The ringtone, echoing through the empty street. My heart sank. I looked around, but the street was deserted. No sign of Kelly, no sign of anyone. Panic set in. I looked across the street again, but the old man was gone. That should have made me feel better, but it didn't. Everything about this felt wrong. My hands were shaking as I dialed her number again. The ringtone started up, louder this time, closer, right behind me.
I
turned around slowly, every muscle in my body tense. The old man,
oh my goodness,
on the bus stop bench, grinning at me like he'd just won some sick game. "Hello, Ryan," he said, his voice dripping with malice. "I hope my hair is fine for you. I didn't want to wear a wig on our first date." I stared at him, my mind racing to make sense of what was happening. Kelly's words, her stories about her hair loss, her vulnerability, it all came crashing down on me in a sickening realization.
This sat on the bench.
Kelly.
Obviously.
It had been him all along.
Oh my goodness.
Me, and I reacted without thinking. My fist connected with his face, and he stumbled back, blood streaming from his nose. I didn't wait to see what he'd do next. I turned and ran, his voice echoing after me. "Stop, Ryan! Stop! I thought you were different. I thought you loved me." I didn't stop running until I was back at my apartment, the door locked behind me, my heart pounding in my chest. I couldn't believe what had just happened. I felt sick, violated, like I'd been played from the start. I wiped my phone and computer clean that night, erasing every trace of that chat room, of Kelly, if that was even her real name, of everything. I was done with the dark web, done with trusting people online. I learned my lesson the hard way. The dark web is a dangerous place, and sometimes the people you meet there aren't people at all.
Great video. I need a 3-minute video if I'm going to win this challenge. Well, 3 or 7 minutes. Okay, let's spin again. Hopefully, I can get a good one. When the animation. No IRL stuff then. After every video I react to, I have to spin the wheel to see if I'm out or in. Okay, I'm good. Okay. Just in case. I'm reacting to another one. After every spin, I add another out to see how far down in the list I have to go. Number 2. 5 minutes. Okay, perfect. So I've won, and it's all down to the wheel of elimination to see if I'm going to be out, but that will be after the video. Okay, this next one is called A Creepy Christmas Time Story, animated by Llama Arts. This is not the best time to watch Christmas story, but this is random. So yeah, let's do this. So it's 5 minutes. So everything.
It was November of
minutes.
2006. I was a 16-year-old kid living in the town of Altoona, Iowa. I went to bed early one night because I had to work the early shift at McDonald's. As I slept, I had a dream that I was running through downtown Des Moines, but I wasn't on a jog. I was running from something. As I ran around the corner of a building, I came face to face with my pursuer. A tall man wearing a trench coat and
okay, those eyes, nah, man.
The only thing visible on his face was his
This guy
eyes.
is 7 foot tall.
They were abnormally large with black pupils, and it looked at me as if it wanted something. After what felt like hours, he reached out his bony hand, as if he wanted me to go with him.
Why did he go?
I woke up violently from my dream.
Okay.
And
I was
after
like, why would
catching
you
my
go?
breath, I peered around my room to see if I was safe. As I stood up from my bed, I noticed that I could see my breath. Feeling confused, I checked my window. It was latched shut. I then walked over and checked my vent. I could still feel warm air coming from it. As I sat back down on my bed, I tried to figure out what exactly was going on. That's when the figure from my dream appeared. I scrambled back to my headboard.
What do you want?
I asked, trying to hide the shakiness
Get
in my
the
voice.
heck back away from me.
With the same bony finger, it pointed at me. Growing up in a religious home, I believed what I was looking at was a demon. I told the creature to leave. It just waved its finger at me, and with a low voice, it spoke to me.
Never leave. Always here.
The creature then screamed
Oh my
loudly
goodness.
and disappeared. A feeling of nausea came over me, and I vomited on my floor.
Oh, okay.
The last thing I remember was cleaning myself up and waking up to my alarm. It's been about a month since I had seen the top hat wearing man in my bedroom. The Christmas season was in full effect. My parents weren't home because they got invited to some kind of event, so it was only me and my 3 sisters at home. I had to wake up early in the morning for work, so I decided to go to sleep. I rested my head on my pillow and closed my eyes. Not even 30 seconds passed until my sisters burst into the room and started singing obnoxious songs. This of course made me very angry, but I thought if I ignored them that they would leave me alone. This was not the case. As I pulled the blankets over my head, I started to feel the same cold feeling that I had in November. As the obnoxious singing subsided, I lowered the blanket below my eyes and saw the man standing in the corner of my room.
Again.
In one swift motion, he charged towards me.
My goodness!
And I blacked out. When I finally came to, I found that my sisters had locked themselves inside the bathroom. As I knocked on the door, they told me to go away. I asked them what happened, and all they could say was Mom and Dad were on their way home. I looked down and saw that my hand was slightly bloody. Holes were in the bathroom door, and a broom was sticking out of the wall. I then walked into the living room and found that there were knives stuck into the wall as well.
What the heck is going on?
The same wave of nausea passed over me, just like in November, and I threw up again. As I was cleaning up, my parents walked through the door. My father immediately walked over to me and gave me a good beating, and he sent me to my room. I went to bed crying. Not from the beating. I was crying because of the
not from the
confusion.
beating, yeah.
I had no idea what was going on. The next morning, my sisters reluctantly sat next to me and told me what had happened. They said I got angry and chased them down and tried to hurt them. They said my eyes were red to the point where they thought I was bleeding from them. They said I sounded like a different person. In 2011, that was the last time I saw the top hat wearing man. I just moved into a new apartment, and after a long, stressful day of unpacking, I took a shower and got ready for bed. As I started to drift off, I could feel that cold feeling again.
Oh my goodness.
I lifted my head and saw the man standing in front of me. The man's eyes were red now. With a low voice, just like on that November night, it looked at me and said,
Never leave.
Always
here.
Yeah. Somehow they made an animation scary. The moment of truth, I actually got like a way out with that first one being 17 minutes. So for the first video I'm going to be good, but let's see. If we're gonna get out, we're gonna be fine. I won and then I got out.
Hopefully you enjoyed this video and make sure to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos and for more Horror Saturdays. And with that, Horror Saturdays comes to an end.